it's time. It is time to reveal the palette roulette selections for round 2 of 2020. If you want to find out what they are, then stick around. Yes, I'm going to reveal the palettes chosen by you for round 2 of the palette collection roulette for this channel for 2020. I received some feedback from, I think, 3 people. I heard from Judy, Steph, and Wendy. Not sure, Wendy, if you want to say Wendy or Wendy Lou, but I'll say Wendy for now. And I want to tell you a little bit about what everybody chose and why, if there was a reason stated. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. Now, one person got a little bit of special treatment because she gave me both the name of a palette and a number. So she got 2 selections. Given that I didn't have 5 people vying for palettes, it's the way it kind of turned out. And so let's take a look. The first person right out of the gate was Wendy, and Wendy asked me for a palette that I identified as controversial for me, and it's the Jackie Aina palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it looks like this. And the colors really, really draw me in, despite the fact that the creator herself really doesn't. And I really hemmed and hawed on as to whether I would get this palette or not, but I have to say that the purples are beautiful. They kind of make me want the Norvina palette less, and there's other reasons I don't want the Norvina, but this section right here is just great. And I'm looking forward to using all of the shimmer shadows, and there's some duochromes in here, at least one that I know of. This sponsored color is duochrome. I haven't even swatched this one. So I am looking forward to doing a few looks for you, Wendy, and discovering this palette, and you'll also see some swatches coming on the channel pretty soon, because I usually swatch a palette before I start using it. I think it makes perfect sense to just kind of get acquainted with the colors. And if you have any requests for the colors in this palette, please let me know, and I will keep them in mind as I start working with them. Next up, we have Steph, and Steph gave me 2 palette, named 2 palettes, and again, I have a low enough number that I can put those 2 palettes in this round. And her first pick was the Electric palette, and I am happy to oblige. It feels like the right time of year to be bringing this palette into the mix. Obviously, I gave it as one of the options, and particularly, I am really excited for these 3 colors, and other colors will come in, of course, some purples and that kind of thing. But I also want to play with this one because of the Wired palette that came out from Urban Decay as well. I think that I have plenty to play with here, and playing with this one will just solidify the fact that I don't need to look at the other palette. As a matter of fact, this one's kind of coming out as viewed as superior to the new one anyway. But I would like to do some looks and invite you as well to take out some of those more punchy colors that you have, given that the weather is starting to warm up all around us. So thank you for picking this one, Steph, because I know I'm going to have a lot of fun. Now, on the complete other end of the spectrum, Steph also requested this one as her second favorite, and I feel like I should oblige because this is actually a palette that Steph sent to me in our makeup swap. I'll put that video right here. And I was tickled. When I opened up the package, I saw the corner of this palette and I knew exactly what it was. And it is a palette that warms my prairie living heart because it's all farming related and vegetation related, like hay and barley and soil and vegetation. Just awesome names, and the color scheme is particularly attractive to me because I really enjoy reds and yellows. If you want to see my love affair with yellows, I'll put that video right there. Now finally, because Steph is the only one who picked a number, I decided to honor the one single number selected, and this is my newest addition to this collection of mine, and it is the Take Me Back to Brazil from Beaute Cosmetics. Sorry, it was kind of blingy. Let me just show you the inside. And it has a mirror, and then these are the colors. And the pans are very, very tiny. I think you can tell with my finger here. They're very tiny, but there are a lot of them. And so I think that this one, along with the electric, is going to be giving me all sorts of feels for color, colorful looks. And actually, I'll just put it on the screen again. If you have some requests for some of the color schemes in here, by all means, let me know as well. I'm quite fine to just pick what I want, but it's also nice to hear what you are intrigued by as far as different colors. And there's a lot to play with here. We've got 32, they're tiny, but 32 pans of color, and then 3 of, I guess they're transformers down here. I'll have to play with them to really understand how they work, despite having seen some videos on this palette. So I have this one and the Rio. This is the Rio edition. I have the original of this as well. They came on 40% off on Beaute Cosmetics site, and I have been eyeing these for a while, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform for a palette that is so reasonably priced. So we'll see how it goes. Now, this face palette was actually chosen by both Julie and Steph, and it is the Fumi Queen palette. And it's actually a face palette and an eyeshadow palette at the same time. It is meant to be quite versatile that way, so let me just show it to you. This is it right here. And I did swatch this palette, so I'm going to put that video right here for you so that you can see. I really enjoy these colors, and I think that I can make some really nice looks with these. I really enjoy purple and red. For green eyes, they're great. Actually, I'm wearing quite a reddish look today, so you can see that I like red. And so I know that I can make some nice looks with these two. I might, who knows, stretch myself a little bit with that kind of hot pink. And yeah, looking forward to it. And of course, there are a few highlighters in here for face products. These can be used as blush. I am sure I'll have a really nice time using this palette. It is only 6 pans, but it looks like it can be quite versatile, and I think I can have quite a bit of fun with it. So we'll see. And finally, last but not least, is Julie's request for the Born to Run palette. And the Born to Run palette is one I haven't touched yet. So the first thing you'll see come up as far as me working with this palette is going to be a swatches video with my impressions on all of these, because like I said before, I always swatch before using a palette if I can. And I really like the color story on this one. And I, as usual for palettes, I'm late to the party on this one. But I knew that this one, just based on the color story, the layout, the way the palette works, how such a robust build, the design of it, that it's going to be around for a long time. And so I didn't feel like I needed to go out and get this palette. And knowing Urban Decay, usually a year to a year and a half later, they'll do a pretty good sale on products that are no longer so new. And if I look at this palette and what I'm interested in, these colors automatically get me. I really am intrigued by this purple. And colors that scare me are down here because they're harder to work with when you have green eyes. So of course you know that I'm going to have to challenge myself and use those as well. I'm really curious about the swatches. Can't wait to get a feel for them. I'm very excited by the matte to shimmer ratio. I think there are plenty of mattes in here to do a good job. And I'm always very happy when I have a very light and a very dark color in the palette, because it makes the rest of the colors so much more versatile. So very excited to be using this one. Thank you for picking it, Julie. It's one that I'm going to have a lot of fun with. So I'm going to have 6 palettes to play with. So let's just recap. The Jackie, Aina, and ABH palette, the Electric palette by Urban Decay, the Ace Beaute Classical Paradise, the Take Me Back to Brazil Rio edition, which is a shimmery version of the original. The face palette is going to be the Queen palette, the Fumi and Juvia's Place collab. And finally, the Born to Run palette by Urban Decay. As I mentioned, if you have any requests for the palettes that you have chosen, or if you're watching this video and have requests based on the palettes I showed you, please let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to at least entertain what the requests are, and I will be playing with these palettes over the next month, so you can take a look at some of the videos that will be coming out as I go. And any looks that I don't film, I will make a point, if I can, to record them in pictures, video, and whatnot, to do my usual recap of all the looks that I do with what your requests are at the end of it all. How long is it? It's about a month, give or take a week or two. Either way, it just, basically I come back and report when I feel like I have given these palettes a decent amount of attention and feel like I have at least a couple of looks for each one to show you. Before then, I don't find there's a point in closing it off, because I feel like I want to show you enough looks for it to be worth your while of selecting palettes and expecting to see something from me. So that's it. I am looking forward to this. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and of course, in the recap of all the looks I created. But for now, take care.